I woke up married to a man I don't remember loving, in a bed that smells like expensive lies, and something darker I can't name. Alessandro says we promised each other forever 6 months ago, that the accident stole my memories but not his devotion. And when he looks at me with those calculating eyes that somehow go soft at the edges, my traitorous body hums, yes, 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 while my mind screams run. The ring on my finger fits perfectly. That's the first thing that feels wrong. The second thing is how much I want him to touch me. It's been 3 weeks since I woke in the private medical wing with Dr. Ferretti's cool fingers on my wrist and Alessandro's voice in my ear, low and certain, saying, "You're safe now, amore. I have you." 3 weeks of piecing together a life from photographs and anecdotes. From the weight of silk robes in a walk-in closet, and the muscle memory of coffee made exactly right. 2 sugars, foam, but no cream. 3 weeks of watching this beautiful, terrifying man move through our home like he owns gravity itself, and feeling my pulse spike every time he gets close. The villa sprawls above Lake Como like a Renaissance dream dipped in marble and menace. Floor-to-ceiling windows frame water so blue it looks photoshopped. Staff glide through halls with the silent efficiency of ghosts. Lucia, who remembers my alleged favorite breakfast pastries. Marco, the driver who claims I always requested jazz in the car. Elena, the physiotherapist who guides my recovering body through stretches while murmuring about my remarkable progress. Everyone has a memory of me. I have none of them. Except Alessandro. Alessandro? I feel in my bones. This morning, I wake to filtered sunlight and the distant hum of a motorboat cutting across the lake. The sheets are Egyptian cotton, the kind that whispers wealth against bare skin. I'm wearing a silk nightgown I don't remember choosing, blush pink, bias cut, the fabric pooling like water over my thighs. When I sit up, my reflection in the far mirror is a stranger. Dark hair tumbling past shoulders, hazel eyes still bruised with sleep, a face that's objectively lovely and entirely unfamiliar. The ring catches light, platinum band, single diamond, elegant and understated. It should feel like an anchor. Instead, it feels like a question mark branded into my skin. I slide out of bed and pad barefoot across cool marble to the terrace doors. The view still steals my breath. The lake spreading like beaten silver, mountains rising in the distance, the Vitelli estate gardens terraced down toward a private dock where a sleek speedboat bobs. It's postcard perfect. It's suffocating. I'm so focused on the water that I don't hear him enter. You always go to the view first thing. His voice drags over my spine like velvet over a blade. I turn, pulse already kicking up, and there he is, Alessandro Vitelli in the doorway of our bedroom, watching me with an intensity that makes my skin feel too tight. He's dressed for business, charcoal suit fitted like a second skin, white shirt open at the throat, dark hair pushed back in that careless way that probably takes effort. He's 32 according to the timeline I've been fed, but he carries himself like a man who's survived 1,000 years and learned to make the world flinch first. Do I? My voice comes out steadier than I feel. Tell you the truth, I wouldn't know. Something flickers in his eyes, pain maybe, or guilt dressed up as concern. He crosses the room in 3 strides, and suddenly he's close, too close, the heat of him making my breath catch. He smells like bergamot and something darker, something that makes my hindbrain whisper danger and mine in the same frantic beat. The doctor says it will come back. His hand lifts, fingertips brushing my temples so lightly I could almost believe I imagined it. Almost. Piece by piece, we just need patience. You're very patient. I hold his gaze, searching for cracks. Most men would be angry, frustrated. I don't remember our wedding. I don't remember falling in love with you. I don't remember any of this life you swear is mine. I don't remember us. His jaw tightens, the only tell that I've landed a hit. Then his thumb traces the curve of my cheekbone, and every coherent thought scatters like starlings. Then I'll make you fall in love with me again. The arrogance should repel me. Instead, heat spirals low in my belly, and I have to lock my knees to keep from swaying into him. This is the trap, I think dimly. This is how he keeps me. His control softens just enough at the edges that I forget to be afraid, until I remember that a man this controlled, this perfectly calibrated, is the most dangerous kind. Breakfast is ready, he murmurs, hand dropping away. The loss of contact feels like withdrawal. Dr. Ferretti is coming at 10 for your check-in. Then we have the charity gala tonight. Gala? My stomach tightens. The Vitelli Foundation annual event. You helped plan it. His mouth curves, almost tender. You don't have to attend if you're not ready, but I thought. He pauses, choosing words like a jeweler selecting stones. I thought it might help. Familiar faces, familiar rhythms, familiar lies, more like. But I nod, because what choice do I have? Run? To where? I woke up in this gilded prison with no past, no identity beyond Alessandro Vitelli's wife, and a bone-deep certainty that the world outside these walls is more dangerous than the beautiful monster offering me safety with one hand, while holding all my truths in the other. I'll go, I say quietly, but I'm not promising I'll be good at it. His smile turns razor-edged. Amore, you've never been good. You've always been extraordinary. He leaves me there, pulse hammering, skin too hot, and I grip the terrace railing until my knuckles go white. Extraordinary. The word tastes like ambition and ownership, like he's describing a rare acquisition, not a woman he claims to love. I will not disappear inside your version of me. The thought rises unbidden, fierce and foreign, and somehow mine in a way nothing else here is. I cling to it like a lifeline. Breakfast is served on the western terrace under a pergola heavy with wisteria. Alessandro is already seated, espresso in hand, reading something on a tablet that he sets aside the moment I appear. That focus, the way he gives me his entire attention, like I'm the only thing in his universe worth observing, should be flattering. Instead, it makes me feel like a specimen under glass. Lucia has laid out a spread. Pastries, fresh fruit, prosciutto, and cheese. Yogurt with honey. My alleged favorites. I take a croissant because it's there and because my body is hungry even if my mind is too wired to care. You barely ate yesterday, Alessandro observes, pouring me coffee from a silver carafe. 2 sugars, foam but no cream. He doesn't ask. He already knows. I wasn't hungry. I accept the cup, fingers brushing his, and the jolt of contact makes me want to flinch and lean in simultaneously. It's strange, isn't it? That my body remembers what I like even when my mind doesn't? Muscle memory, the body keeps score. He watches me over the rim of his own cup. Dr. Ferretti says it's a good sign. The neural pathways are intact. The memories are there, just buried. Buried, I echo. Or erased. His expression doesn't change, but the air between us sharpens. The trauma was severe, Serafina. You're lucky to be alive. Everyone keeps saying that. I set down the coffee, appetite vanishing. That I'm lucky, that I should be grateful, and I am. I think I am, but the words tangle in my throat. What if I never remember? What if this is it? A life built on other people's certainty and my blank slate. Alessandro leans forward, elbows on the table, and the motion brings him into my space in a way that makes my breath hitch. Then we build something new, together. His voice drops, intimate and devastating. I know you, Sarah. You think I only know the woman you were, but I'm learning the woman you're becoming. And she's just as fascinating. Don't believe him, my mind hisses. He's too smooth, too prepared, every answer tailored perfectly to diffuse your doubt. But my body doesn't care about logic. My body registers the heat in his eyes, the way his gaze drops to my mouth and lingers, the tension coiling between us like a live wire. When he reaches across the table and takes my hand, fingers threading through mine, thumb stroking the sensitive skin of my inner wrist, I feel it everywhere. I won't rush you, he murmurs. I know this is terrifying, I supply, voice barely steady. Disorienting. His thumb keeps moving, lazy circles that are unraveling me. But I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. You're my wife, Sarah. That means something to me. What does it mean to you, I want to ask? Possession, protection, a pretty thing to keep in your glass palace. Instead, I pull my hand back, slowly, reluctantly, hating how cold I feel without his touch. I should get ready for Dr. Ferretti. He nods, leaning back, giving me space that somehow feels like strategy rather than kindness. I have meetings this morning. Marco will be on standby if you need anything. And Sarah, he catches my gaze, holds it. Tonight at the gala, stay close to me. There are people who will try to approach you, ask questions. If you feel uncomfortable, find me. Who would approach me? Unease prickles my spine. Business rivals, social climbers, journalists who think a woman with amnesia makes good copy. His expression hardens, and for a moment I see the man beneath the tailored civility, the Don who commands and controls and eliminates obstacles. I won't let anyone hurt you. The promise lands like a brand. Possessive, absolute. I should be afraid. Instead, as I walk back into the villa with his gaze burning into my back, all I feel is the traitorous heat pooling low in my belly and the terrible, intoxicating certainty that Alessandro Vitelli could destroy me, and I might let him. Dr. Bianca Ferretti arrives at 10 sharp, all cool professionalism and expensive perfume. She's mid-40s, elegant in tailored ivory, with sharp eyes that miss nothing. I've decided I don't like her, or more accurately, I don't trust her. She measures my recovery like a stock portfolio, clinical and detached, and every time she confers with Alessandro in low tones just outside my hearing, I feel the walls of my cage tighten. Today's session is in the villa's private medical suite, a room that smells like antiseptic and has too many locked cabinets for my comfort. Dr. Ferretti runs through the usual tests: cognitive function, reflexes, memory exercises. She shows me photographs and asks what I recognize. A piazza in Milan, nothing. A beach at sunset, nothing. Our alleged wedding photo, Alessandro in a dark suit, me in lace and wildflowers, both of us laughing under string lights. I stare at the image until my eyes burn. The woman in the photo looks happy, radiant, in love. She looks like a stranger. Nothing, Dr. Ferretti's pen scratches against her notepad. Nothing concrete. I hand back the photo. It's like looking at actors in a movie. I can see it happen, but I can't feel it. Emotional memory often returns last. She makes another note. The good news is your physical recovery is excellent. Full mobility, no residual pain. Cognitively, you're sharp, perhaps even sharper than before the accident, based on your pattern recognition in our tests. Pattern recognition. The phrase catches. What do you mean? She smiles, but it doesn't reach her eyes. You're very observant, Serafina. You notice details others miss. It's a gift. A gift or a threat. I can't tell if she's complimenting me or warning me. After she leaves, I wander the villa like a ghost hunting her own life. The halls are filled with art I don't recognize. Renaissance paintings, modern sculptures, a Caravaggio that's probably worth more than a small country. I find the music room by accident. A Steinway grand piano gleaming black in the center. Walls lined with vintage vinyl and first edition sheet music. My fingers itch. I don't question it. I sit, adjust the bench, and let my hands find the keys. The melody comes without thought. Something melancholy and old. A nocturne that pours out of me like grief. My fingers know every note. My mind knows nothing. I'm so lost in the music that I don't hear him enter. Don't feel his presence until he's right behind me, one hand coming to rest on the piano's edge, his body a solid heat at my back. That's not our song. I freeze mid-phrase, the notes hanging in the air like an accusation. What? Our wedding song. Alessandro's voice is low, controlled, but there's something underneath, an edge I can't name. It was Debussy, Claire de Lune. You played it at the reception and made half the women cry. I twist on the bench to face him and immediately regret it. He's too close, towering over me, and from this angle I have to tilt my head back to meet his eyes. The position feels vulnerable, exposed, and heat crawls up my throat. Then what was that? I whisper. I don't know. His gaze drops to my hands, still resting on the keys. But you played it like you were remembering something I never gave you. The accusation hangs between us, delicate and dangerous. My pulse kicks wild. Maybe I'm remembering who I was before you. His hand moves, slow, deliberate, and suddenly his fingers are in my hair, tilting my face up. Not rough, but undeniable. The touch sends electricity skittering down my spine, and I hate how my breath catches. There is no before me, Sarah. His thumb traces my lower lip, pressure just this side of possessive. There's only us, only this. I should pull away, slap his hand, demand space. Instead, I lean into his palm like a traitor, and the low sound he makes, halfway between a growl and a groan, liquefies my spine. You don't own me, I manage, voice shaking. No. His eyes go molten. But you want me to. The truth of it burns through me. Shameful and undeniable. I do want it. Want him to anchor me, claim me, make all these terrifying blank spaces make sense. And he knows it. Reads it in the way my pupils dilate, the way my lips part, the way I don't pull away even though every instinct screams that this man is dangerous, that his control is a lie, that I'm a bird in a gilded cage, convinced I'm free. Tonight, he murmurs, so close now I can feel his breath against my mouth. Wear the black dress in your closet, the one with the slit. It's not a request. My thighs clench. And if I don't, his smile is slow, wicked. Then I'll dress you myself. He pulls away before I can respond, before I can do something stupid like close the distance and find out if his mouth tastes as dangerous as his voice sounds. The loss of contact leaves me cold and aching and furious. 6 p.m., he says from the doorway, already back to composed and controlled. We leave at 7. I don't trust myself to speak. I just nod, fingers trembling on the keys. And the moment he's gone, I slam both hands down in a discordant crash that echoes through the empty room. I will not disappear inside your version of me, but God, I want to. The black dress is a weapon. It's waiting in my closet at 5, laid out on the bed like an offering or a command. Silk that moves like water, backless, with a slit that climbs to mid-thigh. I hold it up and something in my chest twists. This dress was designed to be unforgettable, to make men look and women envy. I tell myself I'm wearing it because I have no choice. I tell myself I'm not wearing it for him. Both are lies. By 6:30, I'm ready. Hair swept up to expose my neck and the vulnerable curve of my spine. Makeup dramatic enough to hide behind. Heels that make my legs look endless. The woman in the mirror is a stranger again, but this time she looks powerful, dangerous in her own right. I almost believe it until I step into the hall and find Alessandro waiting. He's devastating in black tie, tuxedo fitted like it was born on him, hair perfectly imperfect, eyes tracking me with a hunger that makes my knees weak. His gaze drags down my body, slow and deliberate, lingering on every curve the dress emphasizes. When he finally meets my eyes again, the heat there could incinerate. Sei perfetta, he murmurs. You're perfect. It's just a dress. It's not the dress, amore. He closes the distance between us, and my back hits the wall before I realize I've retreated. His hands bracket my hips, not touching but caging, and my heart hammers so loud I'm sure he can hear it. It's the woman wearing it, the woman who thinks she can armor herself in silk and walk through my world untouched. I can handle myself. The defiance comes out breathless. His mouth curves, and he leans in until his lips brush the shell of my ear. I know you can. That's what terrifies me. Before I can parse that, he steps back and offers his arm like a gentleman, like he didn't just set me on fire with a whisper. Ready? I'm not. I'll never be. But I take his arm anyway, fingers curling into the expensive fabric of his sleeve, and let him lead me down to the car where Marco waits with the engine already running. The gala is held at Villa Erba, a neoclassical palace-turned-event venue on the lake's edge. We arrive fashionably late, stepping out of the car into a flood of camera flashes and murmured speculation. Alessandro's hand settles at the small of my back, proprietary, possessive, and guides me through the crowd with the ease of a man who owns every room he enters. Inside, the venue is obscene in its beauty. Marble columns wreathed in white roses, champagne fountains, a string quartet playing something elegant and forgettable. The guests are Milan's elite, old money and new power, politicians and business magnates, women dripping in diamonds and men measuring each other in handshakes and hard stares. They all want Alessandro's attention, and they all stare at me. Don Vitelli, so glad you could make it. A silver-haired man in an impeccable suit materializes, hand extended. And Mrs. Vitelli, how wonderful to see you recovering so well. I have no idea who he is. I smile and let Alessandro field the conversation, his hand a steady pressure at my spine. This is the pattern, I realize. He introduces, I smile, they offer condolences about my accident, with eyes that assess and calculate and wonder. I'm not a person to them. I'm a curiosity, The Dawn's broken bird, miraculously healed and back on display. By the time we reach our table, my face aches from smiling. You're doing beautifully, Alessandro murmurs, pulling out my chair. I'm performing. I sink into the seat, grateful to be off heels that are gorgeous torture. There's a difference. Performance is survival in this world. He sits beside me, close enough that his thigh presses against mine under the table. The contact makes it hard to concentrate. You learned that once. You'll learn it again. Did I? Or did he teach me, shape me, turn me into the perfect mafia wife who smiles and stays silent and never asks the wrong questions? The thought makes me cold. Dinner is served. Course after course of culinary artistry I barely taste. Alessandro maintains a running commentary, pointing out key players, the union boss who owes him a favor, the city councilman whose wife's hospital wing was donated by the Vitelli Foundation, the rival family's representative, who keeps throwing glances our way like daggers wrapped in silk. That's Domenico Rossi, Alessandro says quietly, following my gaze. Stay away from him. Why? But even as I ask, something in my chest tightens, a warning my body recognizes before my mind catches up. He's dangerous. Alessandro's hand finds mine under the table, fingers threading through, grip just shy of painful. If he approaches you, find me immediately. You're dangerous too, I point out. His smile is all teeth. Yes, but I'm your dangerous. The possessiveness should repel me. Instead, it sends heat spiraling through my core, and I have to cross my legs to ease the ache. This is insane. I barely know this man. I don't trust him. But my body doesn't care. My body wants his hands on me, his weight pinning me down, his voice in my ear telling me exactly what he's going to do to me until I can't think, can't doubt, can't do anything but feel. I'm so lost in the dangerous spiral of my thoughts that I don't notice the shift in the room until it's too late. The lights flicker, someone laughs, and then the fireworks start. They're meant to be beautiful, synchronized bursts over the lake, gold and silver flowers blooming against the night. But the first crack hits my ears and the world tilts. Suddenly I'm not at a gala. I'm somewhere else, somewhere dark and cold and wet. There's metal and glass. There's shouting. A man's voice, desperate. Please God, no. And then a sound like thunder, but sharper, closer. A sound my bones recognize as gunshot. Even though I've never heard one before, have I? Have I? My knees buckle. The champagne flute slips from my fingers and shatters. I can't breathe, can't see. The room spins and narrows, and I'm going down, down, drowning in a memory that isn't a memory. It's a knowing. Arms catch me, strong, solid, familiar. Alessandro's voice cuts through the static, low and commanding. I've got you. Look at me. Sarah, look at me. I do. His face swims into focus, those calculating eyes gone soft. Jaw tight, every line of him radiating controlled concern. He's lowered us both to the floor, my body cradled against his chest, one hand cupping the back of my head like I'm something precious and breakable. Breathe, he orders quietly. In through your nose. That's it. Again. I obey because I don't know what else to do. The panic recedes in jagged waves, leaving me shaking and humiliated and confused. Around us, the gala continues, people politely pretending not to stare while absolutely staring. Get the car, Alessandro snaps at someone. To me, gentler. We're leaving. Can you stand? Yes, I think so. My voice sounds hollow. He helps me up, keeping me tucked against his side, shielding me from the gawking crowd. Someone's placed his jacket around my shoulders, and I clutch it like armor. We make it to the entrance, down the steps, into the blessed privacy of the car where I can finally stop pretending to be fine. The moment the door closes, I break. I'm sorry, the words come out choked. I don't know what, I saw something, I felt something. It's the trauma. Alessandro's hand finds my face, tilting me toward him in the darkened back seat. Dr. Ferretti warned this could happen. Triggers, flashbacks. It felt real, my chest heaves. A man begging, a gunshot. I shouldn't know what that sounds like. Something flashes across his face, too quick to name. Then it's gone, replaced by that careful concern. The accident was violent, Sarah. Your mind is protecting you by keeping it buried. But pieces surface. It doesn't mean what? I search his eyes, desperate. That I'm broken? That I'm not the woman you married? You're exactly the woman I married. His thumb traces my trembling lower lip. Strong, resilient, mine. And then he kisses me. It's not soft. It's not tentative. It's a claim, his mouth hot and demanding, his hand fisting in my hair, his body crowding mine against the leather seat. I should push him away. This is manipulation, comfort dressed as desire, a way to redirect my fear into something he can control. But God help me, I kiss him back. I kiss him like I'm drowning and he's air. Like his mouth is the only real thing in a world made of lies. My hands find his chest, his shoulders, the strong column of his throat, and I pull him closer, needing more, needing everything. He groans against my lips, a rough, shattered sound, and the kiss turns desperate. His teeth catch my lower lip. My nails dig into his scalp. We're a tangle of breath and heat and barely leashed violence. When he pulls back, we're both gasping. His forehead rests against mine, eyes closed, jaw clenched like he's fighting for control. We shouldn't, he grits out. Not like this. Not when you're vulnerable, I laugh, bitter and raw. I'm always vulnerable with you, Alessandro. That's the trap. His eyes snap open, and the heat there could burn me alive. If it's a trap, amore, then we're both caught. He shifts back, putting distance between us that feels like cruelty. The rest of the ride is silent, charged with all the things we're not saying, every touch we're not allowing. By the time we reach the villa, I'm wound so tight I could shatter. Alessandro walks me to my room like a gentleman, stops at the threshold, looks at me with eyes that promise everything and nothing. Sleep well, Syrah. It's a dismissal. I should be grateful. Instead, I want to drag him inside and stop thinking, stop doubting, lose myself in sensation until the fear can't find me. Stay, I whisper, his hands clench at his sides. If I stay, I know. You don't, his voice drops, rough as gravel. You don't know what I want to do to you, how much I want you, and you're not ready? Your mind might think you are, but your body, your heart, they need time. How do you know what I need? Defiance sparks through the fear. His smile is sad, devastating. Because I know you better than you know yourself. And that, tesoro, is the tragedy. He leaves me there, aching, confused, furious, and I stumble into my room and lock the door behind me. I strip out of the dress, scrub off the makeup, stand under a scalding shower until my skin is pink and raw. But I can still feel his hands, his mouth, the terrifying certainty that if I let him in, I'll never find my way back out. I will not disappear inside your version of me. I repeat it like a prayer, like a lie. I don't sleep. I lie in the dark and count the hours by the way moonlight creeps across the ceiling, silvering the crown molding and expensive art I still don't recognize. My body hums with leftover adrenaline and want, a combination so volatile I can't tell where fear ends and desire begins. Every time I close my eyes, I see two things: the flash of gunfire that isn't a memory, and Alessandro's face in the car, raw and hungry and barely controlled. Both terrify me, both pull me under. By the time dawn breaks over the lake, I've made a decision. I need to be stronger. If I'm trapped in this life, this beautiful, suffocating lie, then I need to stop being the fragile thing everyone handles with care. I need edges. I need to prove, at least to myself, that I'm more than Alessandro Vitelli's broken bird. At breakfast, he's already at the table, reading something on his phone with that focused intensity that makes the air around him feel charged. He looks up when I arrive, and I watch his gaze track over me. Yoga pants, loose tank top, hair in a messy knot. Not trying to be beautiful, just trying to be real. You didn't sleep, he observes. Of course he knows. How can you tell? The shadows under your eyes, the way you're holding your shoulders. He sets down his phone, giving me that complete attention that feels like standing in a spotlight. And you're restless. I can always tell when you're restless. Can you? It's not a question. I pour myself coffee, 2 sugars, foam but no cream, because my treacherous body knows, and meet his eyes over the rim. What else can you always tell? His mouth curves, dangerous. That you came here with a purpose. So tell me, Sarah, what do you want? You, my body screams. Answers, my mind counters. What comes out is, I want to learn how to defend myself. Surprise flickers across his face, genuine for once. Why? Because I'm tired of being weak. I set down the cup harder than intended. Everyone treats me like I'm made of glass. The staff, the doctor, you. And maybe I was weak. Maybe the woman I was before let herself be protected and coddled and kept. But I don't want to be her anymore. Silence stretches between us, taut and electric. Alessandro leans back in his chair, studying me with those calculating eyes that miss nothing. You were never weak, he says quietly. Fragile, maybe, trusting, but never weak. Then teach me not to be fragile. And if I refuse, I smile, all teeth. Then I'll find someone else who will. The temperature drops 10 degrees. Alessandro's expression doesn't change, but something predatory moves behind his eyes, something that makes my pulse kick and my thighs clench. No, he says, voice soft and absolute. You won't. You don't own me. I don't, he stands, moving around the table with lethal grace. But I protect what's mine. And the idea of you, alone, with some trainer who doesn't know your triggers, your limits? He stops in front of me, close enough that I have to tilt my head back. No, if you want to learn, I'll teach you. But we do it my way. Pride wars with pragmatism. I should argue, push back. Instead, I hear myself say, when do we start? His smile is slow and wicked. Right now, the villa has a private gym in the lower level, all sleek equipment and mirrored walls and space that suddenly feels too small when Alessandro closes the door behind us. He's changed into athletic wear that should make him look casual, but instead just emphasizes the lean muscle of his frame, the predatory way he moves. I'm suddenly very aware of my yoga pants, the thin material of my tank top, the vulnerability of bare feet on mats. We'll start with basics, he says, moving to the center of the room. Awareness, balance, how to read an opponent. An opponent, I follow him, keeping distance between us like it's armor. You think someone's going to attack me? His jaw tightens. I think the world is dangerous, and you've already been hurt once. I won't let it happen again. There's something underneath the words, guilt, maybe, or fear, dressed as control. But before I can parse it, he's circling me, assessing. The first rule is to never let someone into your space unless you choose it. Space is power. Once they're close, they have leverage. He stops in front of me, just outside arm's reach. Right now, this is your safe zone. If I step closer, he moves in, closing the distance, and my breath catches. You've already lost the advantage. His proximity is suffocating, intoxicating. I can smell him, that bergamot and something darker, can feel the heat radiating off his body. My pulse hammers. So what do? My voice comes out breathless. You move. His hand lifts slowly, telegraphing the movement. If someone reaches for you, you react. Show me. Try to grab my wrist. I do, fingers closing around the tan skin above his watch. The contact sears. Before I can process it, he's twisted, broken my grip, caught my wrist instead, and pulled me forward so I stumble into his chest. His other arm bands across my lower back, holding me against him. Too slow, he murmurs against my temple, and you grabbed without thinking about what comes next. I should focus on the lesson. Instead, I'm focused on how solid he feels, how my breasts are pressed against his chest, how his thumb is tracing slow circles on the inside of my wrist, where my pulse beats wild. Again, he says, but doesn't let go immediately. The moment stretches, charged, before he releases me and steps back. We drill the movement over and over. He reaches, I deflect or evade or counter. At first I'm clumsy, too aware of his proximity to think tactically. But gradually my body learns the rhythm, the pivot, the angle, the way to use momentum against an attacker. Alessandro is patient, adjusting my stance with hands that linger just slightly too long, his voice low and encouraging in my ear. Better, again. No, shift your weight here. His palm presses against my hip, guiding. Fire trails in its wake. Feel that? You're stronger than you think. You just need to stop hesitating. I'm not hesitating, I protest, breathless. His smile is knowing. Yes, amore, you are. You're afraid of your own power. The words hit deeper than they should. Maybe he's right. Maybe I've been performing weakness because it's safer than admitting I could hurt someone. Could hurt him. Now, Alessandro says, we practice under pressure. I'm going to come at you, not hard, but enough to make you react on instinct. Don't think. Just move. My heart kicks into overdrive. Okay. He circles, predatory, and then moves. Fast, decisive. Reaching for my arm, I twist away like he taught me, but he follows, adjusting, testing. His hand catches my waist, and I use the momentum to spin, driving my elbow back toward his ribs, stopping just short of contact. Good. His voice is rough. Again. This time when he closes in, I'm ready. I deflect, create distance, but he keeps coming, controlled aggression that makes my adrenaline spike. We're moving together now, a dangerous dance, and somewhere between defense and offense, the lesson blurs into something else entirely. He catches me, arm around my waist from behind, pulling me back against his chest. The position is intimate, vulnerable, his breath hot against my neck. What do? He murmurs. My brain short-circuits. You drop your weight, disrupt my balance. His grip loosens slightly, giving me the opening. Try. I do, and the movement works. He staggers, releases me, and I spin to face him. But we're too close now, both breathing hard, sweat slicked and charged. His eyes are dark, pupils blown, tracking over my face like he's memorizing every detail. You're a natural, he says quietly. Or maybe you're a good teacher. Maybe I just like having my hands on you. The honesty lands like a gut punch. Heat floods through me, pulling low and insistent. I should step back, create distance. Instead, I close the gap, reckless and defiant. Then why do you keep letting go? His control fractures visibly, jaw clenching, hands flexing at his sides like he's physically restraining himself. Because if I don't, I won't stop at touching. Maybe I don't want you to stop. The words hang between us, dangerous and irrevocable. Alessandro stares at me like I've just pulled a pin from a grenade. Then he moves, fast, decisive, crowding me backward until my shoulders hit the mirrored wall. His hands frame my face, thumbs tracing my cheekbones, and the gentleness is somehow more devastating than aggression. You don't know what you're asking for, he grits out. Then show me. His forehead drops to mine, eyes closed, breathing ragged. I can't, not yet. Not when you still look at me like you're trying to decide if I'm your salvation or your captor. The accuracy steals my breath. What if you're both? Then God help us. He pulls back, physically dragging himself away, and the loss feels like frostbite. We're done for today. Alessandro. Done, Serafina. It's the dawn speaking now. Cold, controlled, absolute. He's halfway to the door before he pauses, glances back. For what it's worth, you're not the only one afraid of how much you want this. He leaves me there, heart racing, body aching, reflected in a dozen mirrors that show a woman who looks wild and dangerous and utterly undone. I want the truth more than I want the fantasy. But what if the fantasy is becoming the only truth I can hold on to? I spend the afternoon in a haze, restless and wired. Lunch is a solitary affair. Alessandro sends word he's in meetings off-site, won't be back until evening. Part of me is relieved. The larger part feels abandoned. Which is ridiculous. I barely know this man. I shouldn't need his presence like oxygen. And yet, by 4 p.m., storm clouds roll in over the lake, bruised purple and heavy with promise. The villa staff move through the halls securing shutters, and Lucia appears with an apologetic smile to warn me the power might flicker. I thank her and retreat to the music room, drawn by an impulse I don't examine too closely. The piano waits, black and glossy and patient. I sit, let my fingers find the keys, and lose myself in melodies my body remembers, even if my mind doesn't. I play the nocturne from yesterday, the one that isn't our song, and then something else, something darker and minor key that tastes like sorrow. Thunder rumbles in the distance. The first fat drops of rain hit the windows. I'm so absorbed I don't hear him return. Don't know Alessandro's back until lightning cracks. The lights flicker, and his voice cuts through the darkness. Don't stop. I freeze, hands hovering above the keys. He's in the doorway, tie loosened, jacket gone, looking exhausted and raw in a way I've never seen him. The emergency lighting casts him in shadow and amber, all sharp angles and bruised edges. I didn't hear you come in, I manage. I know, you were... He moves closer into the room, drawn like a moth. Somewhere else. Another crack of thunder, closer this time. The lights die completely. In the sudden darkness, my breath goes shallow. Instinctive panic rising because darkness means vulnerability, means threat, means something my body remembers in its marrow. Sarah! Alessandro's voice, calm and anchoring. I'm here. You're safe. I know. But my hands are shaking. I don't know why storms feel wrong. Why the dark feels dangerous. He's beside me now, sitting on the bench, close enough that our shoulders brush. Storms trigger me too. Surprise cuts through the fear. They do? In the darkness, his exhale sounds shattered. My father died during a storm. Lightning took out the power at our estate outside Milan. The men who came for him, rival family, settling old debts, used the darkness as cover. I was 16. I heard everything from the panic room where he'd locked me. His voice goes flat, reciting facts to keep emotion at bay. The gunshots, my mother screaming, and thunder, constant thunder, so loud I couldn't tell which sounds were the storm and which were murder. Horror locks my throat. Alessandro. I swore that night I'd never be caught in the dark again. Never trust anyone outside my immediate control. And I've kept that promise for 16 years. He turns to me, and even in shadow I can see the haunted look in his eyes. Until you. I don't understand. His hand finds mine on the piano keys. Fingers threading through, grip tight. You are the only person who's gotten past my defenses, Sarah. The only one I've let close enough to hurt me. And the terrifying part? I'd do it again. I'd risk everything again just to keep you here. The confession cracks something open in my chest. This is real, maybe the first real thing he's given me. Not the polished Don, not the careful husband, but the wounded boy who learned to survive by never showing his throat. Lightning flashes, illuminating his face for a heartbeat. I see everything, the fear, the hunger, the desperate hope that I won't use this vulnerability as a weapon. I'm scared too, I whisper. Of the dark, of you, of how much I want something I can't even name. Name it. His free hand cups my jaw, tilting my face toward him. Tell me what you want. You, truth, safety, freedom. The words tangle, impossible to separate. What comes out is simpler, more dangerous. Make me forget I'm afraid. The thunder rolls overhead, shaking the villa to its bones. In the darkness, Alessandro makes a sound, half groan, half surrender, and then his mouth is on mine. This kiss is different from the car, slower, deeper, devastating in its tenderness. He kisses me like he's memorizing the shape of my lips, the taste of my surrender, the soft sounds I make when his teeth catch my lower lip. His hands map my face, my throat, the curve of my shoulder, claiming territory but asking permission with every touch. I arch into him, desperate for more contact, and he responds by lifting me, easy, controlled, and settling me across his lap so I'm straddling him on the piano bench. The new position makes me gasp. I can feel every inch of him, hard and wanting beneath me, and the friction is delicious torture. Sarah, my name is a warning, a plea. Don't stop. I rock against him and his grip on my hips turns bruising. Please, Alessandro, don't stop. If I don't stop, his voice fractures. I'll take everything. I won't be gentle. I won't be the man you think I am. Good. I fist my hands in his shirt, pull him closer. I don't want gentle. I want real. The last thread of his control snaps. He kisses me hard, consuming, possessive, while his hands roam, learning the dip of my waist, the curve of my spine, the soft underside of my breast through my thin shirt. When his thumb brushes over my nipple, deliberate and devastating, I cry out against his mouth. Thunder explodes overhead. The storm is directly above us now, shaking the windows. And we're two people using each other to outrun old ghosts and new fears. His mouth moves to my throat, teeth scraping sensitive skin. And I'm dissolving, lost to sensation, to the calloused heat of his hands, to the way he breathes my name like a prayer and a curse. I reach for his belt and his hand catches my wrist, gentle but firm. Not yet, he grits out. Why? Because when I have you, amore? His eyes are black in the half-light, feral and raw. It won't be in the dark during a storm while you're trying to forget you're scared. It will be in broad daylight with your eyes open, knowing exactly who I am and choosing me anyway. The words land like a brand. He's right, and I hate that he's right. This need between us is combustible, but it's also built on my fear and his guilt, and too many lies we're both pretending don't exist. Slowly, shaking, I climb off his lap. My legs barely hold me. You're too controlled, I accuse, voice ragged. His laugh is broken. If I were controlled to sorrow, you'd be on your back on this piano bench, and I'd be buried inside you until you forgot everything but my name. He explodes through me at the image. I have to grip the piano to stay upright. Then why? Because you deserve better than my worst impulses. He stands, puts distance between us, and I watch him physically reconstruct his composure, shoulders straightening, breathing evening, the dawn's mask sliding back into place. And because somewhere under all this need, I want you to trust me, really trust me, not just surrender because I make you feel safe in a storm. What if I never trust you? The question tastes like loss. Then I'll spend the rest of my life earning it. He moves to the door, pauses with his hand on the frame. The storm's passing. Power should be back soon. Get some rest, Sarah. We have the gala tomorrow night. Tomorrow, right. The performance continues. Alessandro. Yes? Thank you for telling me about your father, for stopping, for not stopping, for being honest. Something sad crosses his face. I'm trying to be. God knows I'm trying. He leaves me alone in the darkness with my racing heart and aching body, and the terrible certainty that we're both fighting a losing battle against an undertow designed to drown us. The lights flicker back on 10 minutes later. I'm still at the piano, fingers resting on keys, when Lucia appears with the black dress for tomorrow night, the weapon Alessandro chose, the costume for our next performance. I look at it and think, how much longer can I play this part before I forget who I really am? Then I remember, I don't know who I really am. That's the entire problem. The next day crawls by with excruciating slowness. Alessandro is gone before I wake. Urgent business in Milan, Lucia informs me. He'll return by afternoon. I spend the morning restless and hollow, the memory of last night's almost combustion playing on repeat. When I have you, it will be in broad daylight with your eyes open. The promise haunts me. Dr. Ferretti arrives at 11 for another assessment. Today she's more focused on my physical responses, pupil dilation, blood pressure, reflexive reactions. At one point, she holds up a photograph of a man I don't recognize and watches my face carefully. Do you know this person? I study the image, middle-aged, hard features, dead eyes. No, should I? Not necessarily, she makes a note. Your physiological response suggests recognition, even if conscious memory isn't there. What does that mean? It means your body remembers things your mind has locked away. A protective mechanism, she smiles, clinical and cold. It also means recovery is progressing exactly as expected. Expected by whom, I want to ask. But she's already moving on to the next test, the next measure of my progress toward a finish line I can't see. After she leaves, I return to my room to find the black dress waiting like a dare. I have hours before we need to leave, but I'm drawn to it, running my fingers over silk that's liquid smooth and cool. This dress is armor and advertisement, a way to hide while demanding to be seen. I'm holding it up to the light when Alessandro appears in the doorway. You're back, I say, startled. Meetings ended early. His gaze tracks from me to the dress and back, heat sparking. I wanted to make sure you're ready for tonight. I'm ready. I lay the dress on the bed, turn to face him. Are you going to tell me what I should expect? Who I should avoid? What role I'm supposed to play? He crosses the room in 3 strides, and suddenly we're too close again, the air between us charged with everything we didn't do last night. You're supposed to be yourself, he says quietly. My wife, the woman who survived something terrible and came back stronger. Except I don't know who that woman is. Then let me show you. He reaches past me, picks up the dress. Wear this. Stand beside me. Let them see that you're not breakable. His voice drops, intimate. Let me see it too. The vulnerability in the request undoes me. This isn't the Don giving orders. This is Alessandro, the man who's terrified of storms and trust, asking me to be strong enough for both of us. Okay, I whisper. His relief is palpable. He sets down the dress but doesn't move away. Instead, his hand comes up, fingertips grazing my cheek with devastating gentleness. After tonight, he murmurs, things might get complicated. There are people watching us, waiting for weakness. I need you to stay close, Sarah, no matter what happens. Unease prickles my spine. What's going to happen? Nothing if I can help it. But his eyes say different. Just promise me, stay close. I promise. The words feel like a vow and a trap all at once. By 6:30, I'm a different woman. The black dress transforms me, or maybe it just reveals what was always underneath. I stand before the mirror and barely recognize the creature staring back. Hair swept up to expose the vulnerable curve of my neck. Makeup dramatic enough to hide behind. The dress itself, a second skin that clings and flows, and makes me look like I was born to command attention. The slit climbs high enough to be dangerous. The back is bare, almost to indecency. I look powerful, untouchable. It's the most elaborate lie I've worn yet. When I step into the hall, Alessandro is waiting, and the way his expression shifts from composed to absolutely wrecked sends a thrill straight through my core. He doesn't speak for a long moment, just stares, and I watch his control fracture in real time. The clench of his jaw, the way his hands flex at his sides, the heat that floods his eyes and turns them almost black. Sei perfetta, he finally manages. You're perfect. It's just a dress, I say, echoing our earlier conversation. It's not the dress, amore. He closes the distance between us in 3 measured steps, and my back hits the wall before I realize I've retreated. His hands bracket my hips, not touching, but caging, and every nerve ending in my body lights up. It's the woman wearing it, the woman who thinks she can armor herself in silk and walk through my world untouched. My breath comes shallow. I can handle myself. I know you can. His mouth curves, dangerous. That's what terrifies me. Then he leans in, lips brushing the shell of my ear, and his voice drops to gravel. But fair warning, Sarah. Every man in that room is going to look at you tonight and want, and they'll see my hand at your spine and know exactly who you belong to. Possession drips from every word. I should be furious. Instead, heat pools low in my belly, and I have to lock my knees to stay upright. I don't belong to anyone, I manage. His smile is slow, wicked, devastating. Keep telling yourself that, Tesoro. He steps back, offers his arm like a gentleman, like he didn't just set every inch of my skin on fire. And I take it because what choice do I have? My fingers curl into the expensive fabric of his sleeve, and I let him lead me down to where Marco waits with the car, engine already purring. The drive to Villa Erba is quiet. Alessandro's thumb traces absent patterns on the back of my hand, where it rests on his thigh, and the casual intimacy feels more dangerous than last night's near combustion. This is the trap, I think. Not the explosive passion, but the tender moments, the soft touches that make me believe this could be real, that a man like him could actually love a woman like me, if I even am the woman he claims I am. Villa Erba is obscene in its beauty. We arrive to camera flashes and whispered speculation, stepping out of the car into a gauntlet of Italy's elite. Alessandro's hand settles at the small of my back, warm, possessive, steadying, and I straighten my spine and smile like I was born to this. Inside, the venue drips with old money, marble columns wrapped in white roses, crystal chandeliers catching light like captured stars, a string quartet playing something elegant and forgettable. Servers circulate with champagne and canapes. Everyone is beautiful, everyone is watching, and I feel like a specimen under glass, the Don's wife, recovered from tragedy, put on display. Don Vitelli, wonderful to see you. A silver-haired man materializes, hand extended. Alessandro takes it with practiced ease, and I watch the subtle power play. Who grips harder, who releases first. And Mrs. Vitelli, you look absolutely radiant. How are you feeling? I have no idea who he is. I smile anyway. Much better, thank you. Remarkable recovery, he continues, eyes assessing. We were all so worried after the accident. Such a terrible thing. What accident? I want to scream. What actually happened to me? Instead, I let Alessandro field the conversation, his hand never leaving my spine, anchoring me through the performance. This becomes the pattern: approach, assessment, condolences. Everyone wants to see the Don's broken bird, miraculously healed. They smile with too many teeth and watch with calculating eyes. And I start to understand that I'm not a person here. I'm a curiosity, a statement, proof of Alessandro Vitelli's power, that even tragedy bends to his will. By the time we reach our table, my face aches from false smiles. You're doing beautifully, Alessandro murmurs, pulling out my chair. I'm performing. Performance is survival in this world. He sits beside me, close enough that his thigh presses against mine under the table. The contact makes it hard to think. You learned that once. You're learning it again. Did I learn it? Or did you teach me? The question burns on my tongue, but I swallow it down with champagne that tastes like expensive lies. Dinner is served. Course after exquisite course that I barely taste. Alessandro maintains a running commentary, pointing out the players. The union boss who consulted on port security. The city councilwoman whose hospital wing bears the Vitelli name. The prosecutor who looks the other way at the right moments. It's a web of influence and obligation, and Alessandro is the spider at the center. That's Domenico Rossi, he says quietly, nodding toward a sharp-featured man across the room. The one I told you to avoid. I study Rossi, 50s, expensive suit, dead eyes that sweep the room like he's cataloging weaknesses. When his gaze lands on me, something cold slides down my spine. My body knows him, recognizes threat even if my mind draws blank. Why is he here if he's dangerous? Because keeping enemies close is how you survive. Alessandro's hand finds mine under the table, grip just shy of painful. If he approaches you, find me immediately. Don't engage, don't listen, just walk away. You act like he's going to hurt me. His expression hardens. He would if he could. That's why he won't get the chance. The possessiveness should annoy me. Instead, it sends heat spiraling through my core, and I have to shift in my seat, crossing my legs to ease the ache. This is madness, being turned on by danger, by the barely leashed violence in Alessandro's voice when he talks about protecting me. But I can't help it. My body doesn't care about logic or red flags. My body just wants his hands on me, his weight pinning me down, his voice in my ear promising that nothing will ever hurt me as long as I'm his. I'm so lost in dangerous thoughts that I don't notice the room shifting, don't see the waiters moving to the terrace doors, don't hear the announcement about the fireworks display. Not until the first explosion cracks across the lake. The world tilts. 1 second I'm at the gala, champagne in hand, Alessandro's warmth solid beside me. The next I'm somewhere else, somewhere cold and dark and wrong. There's metal, glass, rain hammering down. A voice, desperate. Please. God, no, don't do this. And then a sound, sharp, final. A sound my bones recognize even though I've never, have I? Have I heard it before? Gunshot. My champagne flute slips, shatters. The sound of breaking glass punches through the dissociation, and suddenly I'm falling. Knees buckling, the floor rushing up to meet me. Strong arms catch me, pull me against a solid chest. Alessandro's voice cuts through the static, low and commanding. I've got you. Sarah, look at me. Look at me. I do. His face swims into focus, those calculating eyes gone soft with concern, jaw tight, every line of him radiating controlled alarm. We're on the floor, me cradled in his lap, his hand cupping the back of my head like I'm something precious. Breathe, he orders quietly. In through your nose. That's it. Good. Again. I obey because I don't know what else to do. My vision clears in fragments. The ornate ceiling above us, the concerned faces of other guests pretending not to stare, the distant boom of fireworks still painting the night sky. I'm sorry, I manage, voice shaking. I saw something. I know. His thumb strokes my temple. We're leaving. Can you stand? Yes, I think so. He helps me up, keeping me tucked against his side, shielding me from the gawking crowd with his body. Someone's draped his jacket around my shoulders, and I clutch it like armor. We make it through the lobby, down the steps, into the blessed privacy of the car. The moment the door closes, I break. It was so real. My hands shake violently. A man begging, the rain, the gun. My breath hitches. I shouldn't know what that sounds like. Should I? Should I know? Alessandro's face is carefully blank. Too carefully. The accident was traumatic. Your mind is protecting you by keeping the details buried. But why would there be a gun? You said it was a car accident. You said... I turned to him, searching his face in the dim light. What aren't you telling me, Sarah? Don't. I pull away, pressing myself against the opposite door. Don't patronize me. Don't feed me another perfect answer. I'm remembering something, Alessandro. Something that doesn't fit your story, and you know what it is. Silence stretches between us, taut as a wire. Outside, Milan's lights blur past. Marco's eyes stay fixed on the road, giving us the illusion of privacy. When Alessandro finally speaks, his voice is rough. The accident wasn't random. There were circumstances, complications. My blood goes cold. What kind of complications? The kind that are dangerous to remember. He reaches for me and I let him, too desperate for answers to maintain distance. His hands frame my face, thumbs stroking my cheekbones. The kind I've spent 3 months protecting you from. I don't want protection. I want the truth. The truth will hurt you worse than the forgetting. That's not your choice to make. The words explode out of me. My mind, my memories, my life. You don't get to decide what I can handle. Something flashes in his eyes. Guilt, maybe, or fear. Then his mouth crashes down on mine. It's not gentle. It's desperation dressed as desire, a way to redirect my anger into something he can control. His kiss is bruising, consuming, his teeth catching my lip hard enough to sting. I should push him away. This is manipulation. Comfort twisted into possession. But God, I kiss him back anyway. I kiss him like I'm drowning. Like his mouth is the only real thing in a world made of lies. My hands fist in his shirt, pulling him closer, needing more, needing to lose myself in sensation until the questions can't find me. He groans against my lips, a rough, broken sound, and the kiss turns savage. His hand tangles in my hair, tilting my head back, and I open for him, desperate and furious and so goddamn tired of being afraid. When he pulls back, we're both gasping. His forehead rests against mine, eyes squeezed shut, jaw clenched like he's fighting for control. We shouldn't, he grits out. Not like this, not when you're vulnerable, angry, confused. I laugh, bitter and raw. When exactly am I supposed to be ready, Alessandro? When I've swallowed enough lies that I can't taste them anymore? His eyes snap open. The look in them could break me. If I tell you everything, if you remember, I lose you. And I can't. His voice cracks. I can't lose you, Sarah. Not again. Again. The word hangs in the air like a confession. Before I can push, demand explanation, Marco pulls up to the villa. The moment shatters. Alessandro composes himself with visible effort and helps me out of the car, and we walk into the house like ghosts, together but worlds apart. At my bedroom door, he stops, looks at me with eyes that promise everything and nothing. Get some rest. We'll talk in the morning. Will we? I search his face. Or will you have another perfect lie ready? Pain flickers across his features. I've never lied to you, Sarah. Omission is still lying. I know. He steps back, putting distance between us that feels like cruelty. But some truths are worse than the silence. He leaves me there, furious, confused, aching, and I stumble into my room and lock the door. Strip out of the dress, scrub off the makeup, stand under scalding water until my skin is raw. But I can still feel his hands, still taste his desperation. And underneath it all, a new certainty crystallizes. I'm done being protected, done being kept. If Alessandro won't give me answers, I'll find them myself. I want the truth more than I want the fantasy, even if the truth destroys us both. I don't sleep. Can't. My mind spins through the fragments, the gunshot memory, Alessandro's slip, I can't lose you again. the way Domenico Rossi looked at me like he was calculating my worth in body bags. Something is deeply, fundamentally wrong with the story I've been sold. And if I'm going to survive this, if I'm going to be more than Alessandro Vitelli's beautiful prisoner, I need to know what. Around 3 a.m., restless and reckless, I slip out of bed and start searching. The villa at night is different, shadows deeper, silence heavier, every creak of old wood amplified. I move through halls I've walked 100 times, but now I'm looking with new eyes, looking for cracks in the perfect facade. I find them in Alessandro's study. The door is locked, but I remember where Lucia keeps the spare keys, hanging in the kitchen on a small brass hook, labeled and organized. I'm not supposed to be here. The locked door makes that clear. But I'm so tired of being told where I can and can't go, what I should and shouldn't know. The lock clicks open. I slip inside and close the door behind me. The study is all dark wood and leather, shelves lined with first editions and awards, a massive desk facing windows that overlook the lake. Moonlight streams through, silvering everything. I move to the desk, hands shaking, and start opening drawers. Files, contracts, letters in Italian I can barely parse. Nothing unusual, nothing incriminating. My fingers find a drawer that doesn't open, locked. Different from the others. My heart hammers. I dig through the desk looking for a key, finding nothing, frustration mounting, until I remember the letter opener, heavy and sharp. I wedge it into the lock and twist. The drawer pops open. Inside, a tablet. Just a tablet, slim and black and anonymous. I lift it out with trembling hands and power it on. No password, which should be my first warning that this was meant to be found. But I'm too desperate to care. The screen illuminates, and I navigate to the video files. There are dozens, all dated from 3 months ago, all labeled with clinical precision. Subject observation, day 1. Subject observation, day 2. Ice floods my veins. I click the first one. The video opens on a hospital room, private, expensive, sterile. And in the bed, unconscious and pale, is me. My hands go numb. I keep watching. Dr. Ferretti appears in frame, checking monitors. Behind her, Alessandro, younger by 3 months, exhausted, still wearing the same cold calculation he wears now. They're talking in low voices. Stable for now, Ferretti says. But the head trauma was severe. When she wakes, if she wakes, there will be gaps. How large? Impossible to say. Could be hours, could be months, a pause. Or we could ensure the gaps are strategic. My stomach turns to lead. Explain, Alessandro says flatly. Controlled amnesia, medically induced and maintained. We keep her sedated during the vulnerable period, manage her waking narrative, provide memory anchors that reinforce the identity we want her to have. Ferretti's voice is clinical, detached. She was a witness, Alessandro. She saw the Rossi execution. If she testifies, she won't. Not if she doesn't remember being there. Ferretti meets his eyes. Not if she thinks she's your wife instead of the woman you've been investigating for 6 months. The world stops. The tablet slips from my nerveless fingers, clattering to the desk. I can't breathe, can't think. The words repeat in my head like a death knell. The woman you've been investigating for 6 months. She thinks she's your wife instead of, I'm not his wife. I was never his wife. I'm a witness. To what? An execution? The Rossi family, the one Alessandro warned me about. They did something. I saw something. And instead of protecting me, he stole me. Stole my memories, my identity, my life. Built me a gilded cage and called it love. Every touch replays with sickening clarity. The manufactured tenderness, the too perfect answers, the way he knew my coffee order because he'd studied me, not loved me. The photographs aren't memories, they're fabrications. The staff aren't remembering me, they're maintaining a script. I've been living inside Alessandro Vitelli's lie for 3 months, falling for a man who turned me into his perfect captive. Rage and horror war in my chest. I want to scream, want to break things, want to storm into his bedroom and demand answers even though I finally have them. But underneath the fury is something worse. Heartbreak. Because some part of me, the stupid, desperate part that wanted so badly to believe, had started to fall for him anyway. My hands shake as I pick up the tablet and keep searching. There are more files, clinic notes detailing my progress, surveillance footage of me moving through the villa, psych evaluations measuring my attachment to the protective narrative. It's all there, every piece of the manipulation, documented with clinical precision, and then I find the other file, the one labeled simply Sarah Vale, Original. I click it. A dossier opens, my real life, my real history. Serafina Vale, forensic accountant, 30 years old, working for the Italian Financial Crimes Unit, assigned to investigate Vitelli syndicate money laundering. Got too close. Started gathering evidence for a case that could have dismantled Alessandro's entire operation. And then, 3 months ago, witnessed a Rossi execution meant to frame the Vitellis. Became the key witness who could prove Alessandro's innocence while destroying his rivals, but also became a target. The Rossis sent a team. Car chase. Crash. I nearly died. And Alessandro made a choice. Instead of putting me in witness protection, instead of letting the authorities handle it, he took me, brought me to his private medical facility, had Dr. Ferretti erase everything that made me dangerous to him, my investigation, my memories, myself, and rebuilt me as the perfect, docile wife who would stay close and safe and silent. Under my roof, under my name, you're safe. The words curdle in my memory. Safe. What a sick joke. I was never safe. I was just controlled. I close the tablet and sit in the darkness, the full weight of the betrayal crushing my chest. Everything was a lie. The tenderness, the protection, the way he looked at me like I mattered. I was just a problem he solved, a witness he neutralized, evidence he buried under manufactured love. And the worst part, I wanted it, wanted him. Even now, knowing the truth, some treacherous part of me remembers his hands in my hair, his voice rough with need, the way he kissed me like I was the only real thing in his world. But that was a lie too, wasn't it? I will not disappear inside your version of me. The mantra rises, fierce and furious. I won't, I refuse. If Alessandro Vitelli thinks he can keep me in this cage, he's about to learn exactly who Serafina Vale was before he tried to erase her. I pocket the tablet, move to the desk phone. There's a card, Inspector Lenzi, the detective whose name I've heard whispered, the one Alessandro warned me about, the one who might be my only way out. My hands shake as I dial. It rings once, twice. Pronto. A man's voice, alert despite the late hour. Inspector Lenzi, my voice barely holds steady. My name is Serafina Vale, and I need your help. We arranged to meet at dawn. There's a clinic in town, neutral ground where Dr. Ferretti doesn't have eyes. Lenzi will have a car waiting. All I have to do is get out of the villa without being seen. Simple. Except Alessandro has guards, has cameras, has a dozen ways to track me even when I think I'm free. But I'm done being careful, done being good. I dress in the darkest clothes I can find. Jeans, black sweater, soft shoes. Braid my hair back. Take nothing but my phone and the tablet with its damning evidence. At 5 a.m., I slip out of my room and move through the villa like a ghost. Marco is at the front. I can see him through the window, smoking by the car. But there's a service entrance at the back, past the kitchens, that opens onto the garden path leading down to the dock. If I'm fast, if I'm lucky, I make it to the kitchen, through the service hall. My hand is on the door when a voice behind me stops my heart. Where are you going, Sarah? I freeze, turn slowly. Alessandro stands in the doorway, fully dressed despite the hour, eyes hollow and knowing. He doesn't look surprised. Doesn't look angry, he looks devastated. You found them, he says quietly. The files. My hand tightens on the door handle. You left them where I'd find them. Yes. The admission knocks the breath from my lungs. Why? Because you deserved the truth. His voice is raw. Because I couldn't keep lying to you, but I couldn't force you to hear it either, so I left you the choice. Choice? I laugh, bitter and broken. You stole my entire life, and you're talking about choice? I know. He takes a step closer, and I retreat, back hitting the door. I know what I did. I know it's unforgivable. But Sarah. His hands lift, palms out, placating. I did it because the alternative was worse. Worse than erasing me? Yes, his jaw clenches. The Rossis want you dead. They've spent 3 months hunting for the witness who can destroy them. If I'd let you go, let you testify, let you disappear into protection, they would have found you, and they would have killed you slowly to make sure you suffered. So you made me your prisoner instead. I made you my wife. The words crack with emotion. I gave you safety, protection, a life where you'd never have to be afraid. It wasn't mine to give, my voice breaks. That life, those memories, they're yours, Alessandro. You built them. You scripted every moment, and tears burn hot down my cheeks. I started to believe them, started to want you, and it was all a lie. Not all of it. He closes the distance, and I let him, too exhausted to fight. His hands frame my face, thumbs brushing away tears. The way I feel about you, that was never a lie. The need, the want, the desperate fucking terror every time you look at me like you might leave, that's real, Sarah. That's the most real thing I've ever felt. I want to believe him. God, I want to. But trust is a luxury I can't afford. Let me go, I whisper. I can't. Then I'll make you. I drive my knee up hard, the way he taught me. He anticipates it, twists, absorbs the impact, but it's enough distraction for me to shove past him and run. Out the door, into the pre-dawn garden, down the path toward the dock. My breath saws in my lungs. Behind me, I hear Alessandro shouting orders, guards mobilizing, engines starting. But I'm fast, desperate, and I know this path. I make it to the dock. There's a speedboat, always a speedboat ready for emergencies. I fumble with the ropes, fingers clumsy with adrenaline, almost free. Almost, hands grab my shoulders. Spin me around. But it's not Alessandro, it's Domenico Rossi, with dead eyes and a gun. Hello, Ms. Vale, he says pleasantly. We've been looking for you. Everything happens fast and slow, simultaneously. Rossi's men materialize from the shadows. 3 of them, armed, efficient. A bag goes over my head. Zip ties bite into my wrists. I'm lifted, carried, thrown into what feels like a boat that immediately guns away from the dock. I scream Alessandro's name. I don't know why. Maybe because despite everything, some stupid part of me still believes he'll come. Still wants him to. The boat ride is short. Minutes maybe, though terror stretches it into hours. When we stop, I'm dragged up steps, through doors, into a space that echoes. A warehouse my mind supplies. Abandoned, by the smell of rust and rot. The bag comes off. I blink against sudden light, a single bare bulb swinging from the ceiling. We're in a gutted building, windows boarded, one exit I can see. Rossi sits on a metal crate, gun resting casually on his knee. Comfortable, he asks. I don't answer. My mind is racing, cataloging options. 3 guards, 1 exit. My hands bound but legs free. Alessandro taught me to fight. But 3 trained men with guns against 1 forensic accountant with rudimentary self-defense? The odds aren't good. We've been searching for you for months, Rossi continues conversationally. The woman who witnessed our indiscretion. We thought you were dead. Imagine our surprise when you surfaced as Vitelli's wife. What do you want? My voice is steadier than I feel. What you saw, what you remember, and then, his smile doesn't reach his eyes. To make sure you never remember again. Terror spikes cold through my veins. But underneath it, fury burns hotter. I've spent 3 months being controlled, manipulated, kept. I'm done being the helpless victim. I don't remember anything, I say flatly. Alessandro made sure of that. Rossi laughs. Did he? Or did he just tell you that? He leans forward. See, we've been watching the villa. Watching you. And the way Vitelli looks at you. That's not a man guarding a witness. That's a man who's made a fatal mistake. What mistake? He fell in love with you. Rossi's voice drips contempt. And love makes even the smartest men stupid. Before I can respond, the warehouse door explodes inward. Alessandro comes through it like a storm made flesh, gun drawn, eyes feral, every line of him radiating lethal intent. Behind him, 2 of his men, armed and moving with military precision. Let her go, Domenico. Alessandro's voice is cold, controlled, but underneath I hear the beast barely leashed. Rossi stands slowly, gun trained on me. Or what? You'll shoot? With your precious wife in the crossfire? She's not. Alessandro's jaw clenches. She's not my wife, and you know it. Then why do you care? The question hangs in the air. Alessandro's eyes find mine across the space, and in them I see everything: guilt and hunger and desperate, terrified love. Real love. The kind that doesn't fit in neat boxes or perfect scripts. Because I choose to, he says quietly. Now let her go. Everything happens at once. Rossi swings the gun toward Alessandro. I move, no thought, pure instinct, throwing my weight sideways into the nearest guard. My bound hands make me clumsy, but my leg catches his knee and he goes down. I roll, come up in a crouch. Gunshots crack the air. Glass shatters. Someone screams. Through the chaos, I see Alessandro moving. Precise, brutal, every shot finding a target. One of Rossi's men drops, then another. But Rossi has cover now, and he's aiming at Alessandro, and my heart stops. I launch myself. Body over rubble, ignoring the zip ties cutting my wrists. There's a shard of broken glass, and I grab it. Slice through the plastic bonds, even as it cuts my palm. And then I'm up, moving, a bottle from the ground in my free hand. Rossi doesn't see me coming. Doesn't expect the woman to fight. Fatal mistake. I bring the bottle down on his gun hand. He howls, weapon clattering. Alessandro is there in a heartbeat. Gun to Rossi's temple, cold and absolute. Don't, I say. Alessandro's eyes snap to mine. Sarah? Don't kill him. My voice shakes but holds. I want justice, not revenge. I want him in prison, not dead. He tried to kill you. I know. I hold his gaze. But I'm not dying today, and neither is he. Not like this. For a long moment, Alessandro just stares at me. Then slowly, carefully, he lowers the gun. Get the zip ties, he orders his men. Within minutes, Rossi and his remaining man are secured. Alessandro is on the phone. Police, I realize. Real police, not compromised. Calling in markers, arranging for Rossi to be taken into legitimate custody, where he can't buy his way out. And then it's over. The warehouse falls quiet except for distant sirens growing louder. Alessandro crosses to me. His hands hover, uncertain, like he's afraid I'll break if he touches me. You're bleeding, he says roughly, looking at my cut palm. I've had worse. The adrenaline is fading, leaving me hollow and shaking. Sarah? Don't, I step back. Don't apologize. Don't explain. Just, my voice cracks. Just tell me one thing, and tell me the truth. Anything. Did you ever actually care about me, or was I just a problem you solved? Pain floods his face. I cared about you before I ever took you. That's why I took you. His hands lift, frame my face, and I let him because I'm too exhausted to fight. You were investigating me, getting close to evidence that could have destroyed everything I'd built. And I hated you for it. Hated how smart you were, how relentless, how you wouldn't take the bribes or the threats. He swallows hard. And then I realized I didn't hate you at all. I was fascinated, obsessed. You were the first person in 16 years who made me want to be seen, really seen, instead of feared. His thumb strokes my cheekbone. When the Rossis went after you, when you nearly died in that crash, I made a choice. Not the right choice, not the moral choice, but the only choice I could live with. You stole me. I did. No excuses, no justification. I stole you and I kept you and I built you a lie you could live inside. Because the alternative, losing you, watching you die or disappear, was unbearable. Tears burn down my cheeks. You can't love someone and take away their choice. I know. His voice breaks. I know, Sarah. That's the tragedy. I loved you enough to save you and destroy you in the same breath. He steps back, dropping his hands. You wanted the truth. Now you have it. All of it. Your real memories, Dr. Ferretti can restore them. Your real life, I'll help you reclaim it. And your choice? His smile is devastated. It's yours now, really yours. Walk away, testify, live your life. I won't stop you. The offer lands like a brand. Freedom, truth, everything I've wanted. But standing here in this warehouse, blood on my hands and adrenaline in my veins, I realize something. I fought beside him. Not for him. Not instead of him. With him. And that changes everything. I want my memories back, I say quietly. He nods, expression shuddering. I'll arrange it. And then I'll decide. Hope flickers in his eyes, fragile and dangerous. Decide what? Whether the man who stole me is worth forgiving, or whether the man I fought beside is worth choosing. 3 weeks later, the memories came back in pieces. Dr. Ferretti, working under police supervision now, her medical license hanging by a thread, reversed what she could. The rest surfaced naturally once my mind stopped being actively suppressed. It was like watching two films overlay. The life Alessandro built, and the life I actually lived. Serafina Vale, forensic accountant. Driven, brilliant, relentless in pursuing financial crimes. 6 months tracking the Vitelli syndicate's money laundering through shell corporations and offshore accounts. Getting closer every day to evidence that would have destroyed Alessandro's legitimate business fronts. And hating how attracted I was to the man I was investigating. That was the part that made me laugh, bitter and raw when it surfaced. Even before the amnesia, even when I knew exactly who he was, some part of me had wanted him. Had noticed the way he moved, the precision of his mind, the rare moments when his control slipped, and something hungry and human showed through. I'd been falling long before he caught me. The Rossi execution came back too. Witnessing 3 men killed in a warehouse as part of a frame job meant to trigger a syndicate war. Running, the car chase, the crash that should have killed me. And Alessandro's choice in the aftermath. It should be simple. He committed a crime. Kidnapping, false imprisonment, medical manipulation. The DA had a dozen charges ready if I wanted to press them. Inspector Lenzi laid them out for me with clinical precision, waiting for my decision. But nothing about this is simple. Because I also remember the month after I woke. The gentle hands and careful patience. The way he never pushed, never demanded. Just offered and let me choose. The thunderstorm confession. The training sessions where he taught me to be strong instead of keeping me weak. The way he looked at me when he thought I wasn't watching, like I was the only beautiful thing in a world of calculated violence. Was any of it real, or just part of the performance? I've spent 3 weeks trying to answer that question. 3 weeks in a safe house, debriefed by authorities. My real life slowly reassembling around me. My apartment, my job, which I'm not sure I want back. My sister who cried for an hour when she saw me alive. And Alessandro, kept at a distance by court order, waiting for my decision. Today is the deadline. Today I testify, or I don't. Today I press charges, or I don't. Today I decide who I am. The woman he made, or the woman I'm choosing to be. I stand on the courthouse steps in Milan, autumn wind cutting through my jacket. Inspector Lenzi is inside, waiting. The prosecutor, the judge, all the machinery of justice, ready to move forward at my word. My phone buzzes. A message from an unknown number. Whatever you decide, I meant what I said. You're extraordinary, Sarah. You always were. My hands shake. I should go inside, should end this, should let the law handle what my heart can't parse. But instead I find myself walking. Away from the courthouse, through Milan's streets, to the address I'm not supposed to know, the penthouse Alessandro retreated to, after surrendering me to authorities. I use the key I'm not supposed to have. Take the elevator to the top floor. The door is unlocked. He's standing at the windows overlooking the city, hands in his pockets, shoulders tense. He turns when I enter, and the look on his face when he sees me breaks something in my chest. Hope, fear, desperate, fragile love. You're supposed to be testifying, he says quietly. I know. They're waiting. I know. I move into the room, maintaining distance. I wanted to see you first. His hands clench. To tell me you're pressing charges? To tell you, I take a breath. That I remember everything now. The investigation, the attraction I didn't want to feel. The way you looked at me during that deposition like you wanted to either kiss me or destroy me and couldn't decide which. Pain flashes across his face. Sarah, let me finish. I step closer. I remember who I was before you took me, and I remember who I became after. And here's what I know. the woman I was would have put you in prison without hesitation. She believed in rules and justice and clean lines between right and wrong. And the woman you are now? His voice is barely a whisper. The woman I am now knows the world is messier than that. I close the distance between us until I'm standing right in front of him. The woman I am now fought beside a dangerous man and chose truth over safety, chose agency over protection. I reach up, frame his face with my hands the way he's done to me 100 times. The woman I am now is going to testify against the Rossi family. I'm going to put them away for the execution I witnessed and the attempt on my life. And I'm going to do it because it's the right thing, not because you need me to, not because anyone's making me, but because I choose to. His eyes close. And me? You violated me. The words are steady. You took away my choice, my agency, myself, and that's unforgivable. I watch him flinch, watch the pain lance through him. But you also gave those things back. You left me the truth even though it destroyed what you'd built. You could have kept me in the dark forever, but you didn't. That doesn't absolve. No, I agree. It doesn't. What you did was wrong, Alessandro. Deeply, fundamentally wrong. And if we do this, if we try, you need to understand something. I will never be the woman you built. I will never be docile or soft or easy to keep. I will fight you, question you, hold you accountable. I know. His hands lift, hovering over my waist, asking permission. I don't want the woman I built. I want you, the real you, the one who's terrifying and brilliant and just as damaged as I am. We're both so broken, I whisper. Then maybe we break in complementary ways. His forehead touches mine. Maybe we build something new, not perfect, not pretty, but ours. I should say no, should walk away, should choose safety and sanity over this beautiful, damaged man who committed crimes for love and called it protection. But I've never been good at choosing the safe path. If I stay, I meet his eyes. It's my choice, my risk, my key to this cage. You don't own me, Alessandro. You never will. I know. His smile is broken, hopeful. Keep the key to sorrow. Lock or let me in. I'll wait however long it takes. I kiss him. It's different from every kiss before. No desperation, no performance. Just choice and heat and the terrifying vulnerability of two people deciding to try. His arms come around me, solid and sure, and I let myself sink into the embrace while keeping my spine straight, safe and strong, held and free. I'm pressing charges against Dr. Ferretti, I murmur against his mouth. She gets prosecution, full accountability. Agreed. And you're going to therapy, real therapy, not some compromised doctor on your payroll. He pulls back, eyebrow raised, demanding. You said you wanted the real me? I smile, sharp. This is what that looks like. His laugh is rough, surprised. What else? I'm keeping my apartment, my independence. We do this slow, dating like normal people. You don't get to rebuild me into a wife. You get to meet the woman I actually am and decide if you can handle her. I can handle you, amore. Prove it. I step back, already moving toward the door. I have testimony to give. Then I'm meeting my sister for dinner. You can call me tomorrow. Maybe I'll answer. I'm at the door when his voice stops me. Sarah? I turn. He's silhouetted against the windows, backlit by Milan's sprawl, looking both powerful and vulnerable in a way that makes my heart ache. Thank you, he says quietly, for choosing to try. Don't thank me yet, I smile. You might not survive the woman I actually am. Then I'll die happy. 6 months later, we build it slowly. Alessandro goes to therapy, a real psychiatrist who holds him accountable. I reclaim my career, consulting now on financial crimes, but with better boundaries. We have dinner twice a week, coffee on Sundays, dates that are awkward and human and sometimes end in arguments about control and trust. He's learning to ask instead of demand. I'm learning that accepting help isn't weakness. Some nights I stay at his penthouse. Some nights he doesn't get an invitation. The key is always mine. The Rossi prosecution concludes with every surviving member locked away. My testimony, combined with evidence Alessandro provided, dismantles their operation completely. Inspector Lenzi thanks me personally. then warns me, gently, that I'm playing with fire. I know. But I've learned that some fires are worth the burn. Dr. Ferretti loses her medical license and faces criminal charges. I don't attend her trial. That chapter is closed. And slowly, carefully, Alessandro and I build something new. Not the fantasy he scripted. Not the investigation I pursued. Something messier and realer, two people choosing each other with eyes wide open, knowing exactly how much damage they can cause, and deciding to try anyway. One evening, 6 months after I testified, I stand on his penthouse balcony watching the sunset over Milan. He joins me, hands careful on my waist, asking permission with every touch. "What are you thinking?" he murmurs. "That this is terrifying." I lean back against him. "That you still scare me sometimes, that I still don't fully trust you. And I'm here anyway." I turn in his arms, meet his eyes. "I'm choosing this, choosing us, not because you made me, not because I can't escape, but because the man who let me go is worth the risk." His kiss is slow, thorough, devastating in its tenderness. When he pulls back, his eyes are bright. "I love you," he says. "The real you, the terrifying, brilliant, uncontrollable you." "I know," I smile. "And I'm learning to love the real you too. The broken, controlling, desperately trying man underneath the dawn." "We're a disaster," he observes. "Probably." I kiss him again. "But at least we're an honest disaster." We stand there as the city lights begin to glow, two damaged people holding each other in the ruins of what was, and the fragile hope of what could be. Not perfect, not pretty, but finally ours. I was his captive. I became his obsession. Now I choose him with eyes open, and this gilded world becomes mine because I hold the key. And I always will.